Hola amigos, hola amigas, Dorian here from Hooverlux. Welcome, bienvenido, croeso salam alaikum. Welcome to the channel, y'all. So today I have this machine here, which is the SEBO Airbelt D2 Storm Eco. This is the one that I picked up on my way to Swansea for the new year, and I tried it at my sister's house, as you probably would have seen in the video. So today is the day when it's going to get cleaned up and tidied up. Now the first thing is the hose. I'll take the head off. This floor tool is in pretty good condition. It just needs a bit of a polish and a bit of a clean. It's in full working order, and like I said, that's all it really needs is a clean up and a little bit of a polish, and that will come up like new. Now I tried to fit some of the Miele tools on it because they looked similar, but they made it slightly different in size, which means that it does not fit. It's just a bit too small. If they'd have carried it on as this length, it would have fitted on, but they broadened out the bottom slightly, so you can't use it on a Miele head. So I wanted to be able to use the Miele turbo brush on it, but unfortunately I can't. So what I'm going to have to do is, if I have it to hand, here it is the aero brush, and again it just doesn't fit. They made it ever so slightly bigger so that you can't use the other tools on it, which is a bit of a shame. So I have ordered a similar one to this, but it is more of a universal one that will fit it. So that will be with me in a few days. It's a bit of a shame. I guess they've done it so that people couldn't use Miele tools on it, but never mind. So let's take the hose off. 2 clips either side, and then you pull it off. It's not a power one, unfortunately. It is a tapered hose, so it starts off slightly bigger this end, so that helps with suction as well. So let me just switch it on for you guys. Now the cord length on this, I think, is extremely long. Yeah, it is, from what I remember. I'm not sure the full length, but that is a really long cord on it. I'm just going to plug it in. Okay, so it's got a soft start motor on it. It's very simple. It is literally on, off, turn for level of power. Very, very simple design on it. So switch it on. That is its lowest setting. It's got a nice ergonomic handle on it with the metal anti-static strip on it as well. Now there isn't a indicator light on it bag full on this one. There is there's an indicator dial. Now it's on full. Not bad power on it. It is a 1200 watt version of this. We've got the hose on and the head on. That's on low. It's not very loud. Now as floor heads go, it's not that bad to use, I have to say. It's, oh, let me try it off the carpet mode, might make it a slightly bit easier. It's not actually that bad, a floor head. I have to say, it's really not that bad. I have definitely tried worse, but it seems to work pretty well. So anyway, so that's the floor head. that's the tube, and this is the hose. These don't need anything doing to them apart from a quick wipe over, like I said. I'll just pop these down to one side. Let me unplug it. Cord rewind. This is not the most powerful, but it does have a lot of cord to pop into it. Does need a little bit of tightening up or something, I don't know. Come on. Come on. There we go. Not the most amazing. On the back here we have tools. We have a upholstery brush, a crevice tool, and a dusting brush. Not a very nice dusting brush, I have to say. The bristles on it are a bit soft, but it's also a bit short. I do prefer the one on the Miele. A little bit dusty on the back. Made in Germany. It's quite a big machine. It is the type SEBO Airbelt D2, serial number B520011 1412, 1200 watts max, made in Germany. Now this is a beast of a machine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you guys closer and we will take a look at this machine. So I've seen a number of collectors with these machines before in different varying colours. And I thought I'd like to get my hands on one when one comes up on eBay, and it did, and it came up at a really good price. It was from a company that does house clearances, and the guy was selling it, so it was a pretty good price. So if I open it up, there's a clasp at the front. This is the bag, it hooks on. Now I have been using it when I was down in Swansea to have a quick demo, and I do like the bags on it. They are big, really big bags. Got the bag seal on the top there, so I'm not going to be wasting that because that was a new bag. Inside here, very, very big capacity dust compartment. As you can see, it's a little bit dusty, but it is not too bad. The suction of this machine comes from here at the top. There is a filter that I peel off here. I've got a new filter for this, so that's going to go in the bin. Suction then comes from inside here. So the machine itself, it's an odd design, but very good because the suction comes from the top and not at the side. There are lots of other videos explaining that better than I can, but it's quite good to have the suction here on the top, so the bag fills up, if you know what I mean. Anyway, close that lid. It must have, yes, an anti-closing feature on it. If I turn this machine over, it's got 4 lovely big casters on it, and what is this, you might be thinking? This is yet another filter, this one here. I'm going to take this one off because this is going to be replaced, and it is very dusty. I'm not going to be cleaning this, I'm just going to bin it. Yeah. So there we go, it's done a very good job in retaining the dust. It's almost like another bag, to be honest. Why there's so much dust leaked, I do not know. It has obviously not been used very well. And here inside, that's where you have the motor, and that's where the dust comes out for the post motor filter. And it is quite dusty on the inside there, so I'm going to clean the cage as well on this and give this entire thing a proper clean up because it desperately needs it. What I'm going to do on the outside is I'm going to clean it up. The air belt does have a little bit of damage here, there, and there is also a couple of marks on it, so I will gently give it a bit of a clean up, but it's not in too bad a condition. I think just a quick wipe over. There is actually, no, there is a split there. I think it's a split, I don't know. Anyway, it's not in too bad a condition, and the plastic will come up really, really well. So I've got my bucket of hot soapy water. Feels a bit lighter actually without this in it. So I am going to go and give this a clean out. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we are back and we have got everything ready. I have got some all-purpose cleaner. I've got my rags, which I'm going to put in my... Well, first of all, I'm going to take my watch off. Even though it's waterproof, I don't want to test the fact. I'm just going to wring some cloths out. One. I've put a little bit of star drops in the water. I love star drops. It smells really nice, and it's as cheap as chips. I get it from the pound store. The one thing I've noticed, talking about the pound store very quickly, is that I buy a lot of stuff from the pound shop. Stuff for the house. I don't know, lots of bits and bobs. There's loads of stuff I get from the pound shop. But we always go to Poundland because it's in the centre of town and it's the easiest one to get to, because when you're in town doing other stuff, it's there. And I found that the stock in the pound shop had started to kind of get a little bit rubbish, a little bit scarce, and that was because I think that Pound World had been stocking a lot of the stuff, or getting hold of a lot of the stuff, and the selection in Pound World had Poundland had kind of deteriorated. Even for Poundland, it deteriorated. The ranges weren't really there for stuff. And since Pound World is now defunct, since it's gone, I've noticed that Poundland has started stocking more stuff again. I guess they bought a lot of it back off the stock that Pound World had. But and I missed the 99p store as well. I liked the 99p store, but obviously that disappeared with Pound World, because Pound World bought them out. Anyway, I like the colour on this. I've been looking for one of these for a while. It was ages ago that I saw videos on it and I was like, oh wow. It definitely is a big machine. It's not as big as I thought it would be, but again, for a cylinder machine, this is a bit of a beast. And I'm positive with a little bit of the machine polish, this will come up, the red will come up really, really nice on it again. But I'm glad that I got it, and I got it for a pretty good price as well. Most of my machines, well, I would say 99% of my machines are all second hand, as you know. Right, so that is just a preliminary wipe over of the outside. I did give it a little bit of a vacuum over since before I put the camera on pause, just to get rid of the dust. There was some dust in these fins at the side of it, which are to aid airflow as the bag is filling up, so you still get a good airflow around the bag. This is the fiddly bit. So if you've been following me on Instagram, I've been watching a lot of the old episodes of Coronation Street. And every time I see a vacuum cleaner on it, I pause this and do a screenshot and then stick it on Instagram. So if you have a look on Instagram, you'll see all the different vacuums that I saw on Coronation Street back in the day. I'm on 1990 at the moment, And Deirdre Barlow, I just saw today, had a Turbo Power Junior soft bag, like the one I had, the early ones, with the top cord as like a proper permanently sticking out hook, which you'll see if you take a look on Instagram. Right, now this top part is white. I'm just going to give this a quick wipe over. Again, it's got lots of fins on it. Now, judging from that post-mortar filter, it definitely was not badly abused, but there was a lot of dust leakage, and I don't understand why. They must have been doing something to it. So just want to make sure all these seals are all nice and clean. Right. This inside definitely needs a bit more of a cleaning. I'll need to get my screwdriver end and start cleaning it up. So what I'll do, I'll put you on fast forward while I finish off cleaning the inside of this machine. Otherwise you'll be bored to tears. Back in a second. So there we go, that is the inside and out of it cleaned out. I've also sprayed some of the lubrication down inside the cord release mechanism, cord retracting mechanism, and it seems to have made a little bit of a difference, but I'll soon see once I start putting it back together. So now we are down to the polishing, and without further ado, again, I will do this on fast forward, and I will use my Chemical Guys V36 cutting polish. This time I've put on a slightly thicker and a slightly bigger head than I normally do for this machine, as it's bigger. And we'll crack on. Again, I will do this in fast forward for you guys. Now that has made a huge difference to this machine. It really, really has. So I'm just going to polish it up. There was lots of marks on it. It hasn't taken away all the deep scratches, but it has definitely put the luster back into the plastic. Now, as I was polishing the top, I just gently went over the edge very slightly with the with this, and I noticed that the writing wasn't coming off. I have noticed with Miele and SEBO that when I'm doing the plastic polishing, the lettering on it is very, very tough. So I did do a little bit of polishing over it. I wouldn't recommend it unless you want to test it yourself, but as I was pretty sure enough that it wouldn't take it off, I risked it. So I wouldn't recommend doing it yourself unless you want to risk it. But that looks amazing. Wow. Just removing some of the excess polish from around the side. That looks like a different machine. I really do like this machine, even though it is very, very big. I really do like it. I can't wait to use it with the turbo head, that airbrush that I bought for it, which is not the SEBO one. I will keep looking for a second-hand SEBO turbo brush and see what I come up with, but until then I will just use the generic one that I've ordered from eBay. So I did the bottom as well, so I'm just going to wipe off the excess, polish up the bottom. This could do with a new air belt, definitely, around the outside of it to make it look a bit fresher. Again, I'll have a look and see how much they are and how easy it is to replace them. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to clear away my polishing stuff, and I've put the other bits in to be washed. So I'm going to put some of this Auto Finesse Ultra Glaze paint glaze on it. Just to give it a very, very nice shiny finish, and it will help protect the plastic a little bit. I've put the bag in, and I've put an air freshener in. Right, I'm just going to leave this dry while I go and get the other parts. So I'll leave that on for now. There we go. And I will see you guys in a minute. The wax is now dry, so I'm going to rub it off. Wow! This looks brilliant. Really, really good. Looks 100 times better than when I first had it. It's definitely a lot cleaner, shinier. There's only a few more things to do before we can give it a quick test on the floor. So I'm just going to finish polishing this up. I've given the tools, they've been cleaned on a wipe over. So the crevice tool, the upholstery tool, and how does that go? Dusting tool are fitted into place. Now, filters and bags. I had a pack of bags and of filters given to me from my Amazon wish list, which made me able then to do this video. So I'd like to say a great big thank you to you know who wishes to remain anonymous. Thank you so much. As you can see, your amazing gift is now going to use. So the filters, you just pop them around into the groove around the machine. Just make sure that they are fitted in properly. A very good seal on them, very nice. Huge filters, as you can see. Fantastic. That's the top filter done. Just make sure. Yes. Now we've got this big filter at the bottom. This is the filter cage. I'll just put a cloth down before I move it over. Now, this one, let me just take a look at the old one. Yes, it goes over. Trying to work out. All right, okay. Okay, there's a little clip there. There's a little clip there. That fits down into there. There's a clip there. Gotta make sure that these little pegs and grooves fit around it. And then you push the inside of the hat. I think that is a big difference. Definitely will help with airflow. Just make sure they are in properly. I guess you don't have to change these that often. The other one was a bit misused. Now this fits into here. And then slides in. Excellent. Perfect, so we have all the filters in. Just make sure my yucky fingerprints aren't on it. Right, let's plug it back in. Now I did think that the light on this went around as you turned it up or turned it down, but this one doesn't, so maybe it does on other models. I'm sure I've seen the dial light up. So switch it on. That is a lot of airflow, and the motor on it sounds so sweet. I'm sure by changing the filters and cleaning the machine, I am sure that we've increased its suction, its airflow, CFM or whatever you call it, a little bit. By that cleanup, I am very sure we have done that. So let's try the cord release. Still not amazing. Does seem slightly better than before, or not. Yay! Okay, it's in. So there's one thing, or there's two things we got left to do now, which is to sort out the hood. I'll pop that down there. The hose, I mean, sorry, not the hood. Let me grab the wand. So this is the wand. first thing I'm going to do is give it a wipe over. Not too bad. Looks pretty clean on the inside. It's definitely been used. And some sort of brick dust or plaster by the looks of it. Which doesn't surprise me why it was so dusty on the inside. Right, let me try it. Now, a couple of weeks ago I got recommended a product for metal, so we're going to give it a go. It is this, which is luster pad for all flat and irregular metal surfaces. The polish is in the cloth, metal polish luster pad. Now this must be popular in the States, because the guy who recommended it to me was from the States. Doesn't say. Gilligan, stop licking Millie's face. Anyway, I got this from Germany, this luster. It comes in this pot. Inside the pot you'll find like a plastic bag, air sealed, and then you pull out the cloth from inside. Basically it's like a what do you call those little you know, like those Brasso pad thingy-majigs. That's my scissors. Now I have tried this already. I used a bit on the copper kettle that I have in the kitchen, the stovetop kettle, and it did do a good job, I have to say, as you'll see on here, and on the copper kettle it really did do a good job. But the only negative thing I found with it is I still prefer using the what do you call it, the fine gauge. I still prefer to use the fine gauge wire wool and something like Mother's polish, because even though this is good at polishing stuff, obviously with using the wire wool, it really does, you know, take off the hard surface from the top of the metal a little bit better than this does. But it still does a good job. So if I'm just doing some maintenance work on my Kirby's, like once a year, just giving the aluminium a bit of a polish, this stuff is really, really good, and I can recommend it. Like I said, it's very hard to find in the UK. I did get it from Germany on eBay. So if I just do this, if you've got really, really bad metal, I can't recommend it. But for jobs like this where I just want to make it look shiny, you can actually see, you can smell the metal. I know it sounds a bit weird, but you can smell the metal, so it's definitely taken off a layer. There we go. Look at that. Much better. So let's try it on this end, using the other side. This possibly might make it a little bit easier to glide in and out of itself, giving it a clean. I guess I should use my gloves for this. go. Let's polish it off. There we go. So that is the wand polished and cleaned. I've cleaned up the head on it, the floor head. So that's now in position. The last little job I have to do is on the hose, which is just to give, I mean I could wash it and everything, but I'm just going to give the outside of it a clean. That's all it needs. And I'm just going to give the plastic on here a bit of a polish, so I'll do that off camera and I'll be back in a minute. So there she is. There is the little, I should say not so little, SEBO D series, and we're going to put some mess down on the floor, some Mad About mess. And we are going to put down some of the drier particles, rice and couscous, etc. Then we're going to put down some of the party mess. Imagine you've had a party, it's New Year's Day, or you've had a wedding. There we go, bit of party mess. And finally, imagine you live on a beach, a multicoloured sand beach. We'll put some sand down, concentrate it in that area. Okay, so we got the mess down. Let's clean it up. Let's see how it does. First of all, let me pull out some cord. Here goes. Let's clean up the mess. Okay, so that was on maximum. There's still a few bits of sand that I can see, and it has taken a good couple of passes for it to even look like that the mess is gone, and just not wrapped on straight suction floor heads. So let's just pick up the rest of the mess. So it's picked everything up, and as for straight suction floor heads, I don't find that too bad, to be honest. I've definitely tried worse. So that is one of the better ones out of the bunch that I've tried. The cord rewind on this is a little bit iffy, but not completely broken. I do like the power on it. Right, let's take a closer look. So in the light of day, I definitely think this looks a lot better than what it did when we first started. It's got a lovely big bag compartment in it, if you can see inside. Actually, let me put the light on. Hang on. There we go. Just put the light on. Don't know if you can see. In there, that's where everything is. So it's got a lovely big bag capacity on it. I think it would take quite a while for you to fill up this. And as you can see inside there, it's full of the sand and the potty. The floor, I can't see any sand particles. It's done a good job and picked it all up. I really, really do like this machine. As you know, I'm not one for cylinders, especially cylinders like that piece of junk. But these kind of more modern cylinders I definitely do like. I wish I had the one with the electric power head on it. I think that would be fantastic. But I am more than happy with this, and like I said, I've ordered the generic airbrush tool for it, and I will give it a go when I do the full house demo with that, and we'll see how much it picks up. But I am very pleased to have this refurbed and to have it as part of the modern collection and a part of the SEBOs, because I've got a SEBO Airbelt over there, which is a general non-powered head one, and then inside I've got the one with the ETH power head, just like the one that Miko has. So I've been watching Miko's videos and other people who have these machines. That's kind of like thought, yeah, do you know what, I wouldn't mind getting one of them when they come on the cheap, and I was very lucky to get this one on the cheap. So thank you very much for watching. Please comment, like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye y'all.